Hey, it's Steve Thomason, and thanks for watching. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a long time since I've made an actual YouTube video, but I wanted to make this one because I'm excited about a new project that I'm working on, and I wanted to introduce you to it and invite you to follow along. I'm calling it the Cartoonist Guide to the Gospel of Matthew. Let me tell you why I'm doing it, because I'm so excited about it. It's a project that brings my Bible nerd, preacher nerd, and artist nerd all together so they can play and make something hopefully pretty cool and helpful. So I'm a preacher here at Easter Lutheran Church, and we are using the narrative lectionary. I'll put a link to that in the comments below in the information. But the narrative lectionary is something that's produced out of Luther Seminary, and it just provides scripture texts for preaching that takes you chronologically and narratively through the whole Bible. And we're jumping in with the Gospel of Matthew this year. And so because we're doing that, I wanted to illustrate each of those texts. Now, last year, I did this with the Gospel of John and got pretty excited about it. So this year, I decided I wanted to do a graphic novel illustration format of the entire Gospel of Matthew. And I'm pretty excited about it. I've started working on it. So I want to show you how to access the weekly unfolding of each page as I create the page, and how you can follow along and participate and ask questions. And I'd love to do videos on the technology of how I do it. Just a little sneak peek in that. I'm doing all of the illustration on my iPad Pro and drawing with my Apple Pencil. And so I go in there and I open up, I'm using an app called Procreate, and I draw everything out in that. The whole comic book page is done in Procreate on my iPad, and then I put it onto the website, and hopefully eventually I'm going to be able to create a print version of this. But this video, I just want to show you how to get to it and how you can access it and hopefully use it for your own preaching, teaching, or personal study of the Gospel of Matthew. So what you want to do is go to my website, stevethomason.net. Now, at this moment, today is January 11th, 2019, and in this moment, there is a huge quick link to this project right on my homepage. But down the road, when it's no longer the featured thing, the way you can always get to it is if you click on Bible on my homepage. You'll see that there's this thing called a Cartoonist Guide to the Bible. So I have illustrated through the entire scripture. I've been doing this for over 15 years. And if you just click Dive In, you'll go to the Cartoonist Guide to the Bible. And you can see this is a visual, I call it the Bible bookshelf, where it goes through each shelf of the scripture and all the different genres of scripture, and a timeline. I'll do videos about how to use this in the future. But if you scroll down, you see that there's a link. Each of these bookshelves is a link to an introduction to the whole genre. But there's also a direct link to each book of the Bible. So if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that we come to the Gospels section. And let me just give you a quick peek here. If you want to look at an introduction to the Gospels in general and how to read the Gospels, I invite you to scroll through this page. It's a very visual introduction to reading the Gospels. Now, specifically, if we go back to this page, you don't have to go to the Gospels page first. You can go directly to the Gospel of Matthew. Click on that, and it will bring you to a Cartoonist Guide to the Gospel of Matthew. And you'll see that as I am working on this project, I'm going to add one page at a time. So I've already done 6 pages, and I'm super excited about it. So all you have to do is you can either click on the image itself, or on the link, and it'll take you to the page. But before we go there, there's also, this is the outline of the whole Gospel of Matthew. And this outline is based on a commentary, this commentary right here, written by Wesley Allen Jr. And it's from the Easter, have chosen to use this as kind of a guide for our preaching. So I chose to use this commentary as the basis of the outline. You can see there's section 1, which is chapters 1 through 4. Then section 2 is Jesus' ministry up in Galilee. Section 3 is him traveling from Galilee to Jerusalem and what we would call Passion Week, which is chapters 21 through 28. He goes back to Galilee in his ascension and the Great Commission. In the yellow is the preaching texts from the narrative lectionary itself. So January 6th, we preach from chapter 2, 1 through 23, January 13th, chapter 3, and so on. If you scroll down, I have the one other source that I'm incorporating into my site is the Bible Project videos, because they're awesome. If you haven't already looked at the Bible Project, you need to check it out, because those guys, Tim and John and the crew, they're doing amazing work. They're doing what I thought I was going to do as a artist teacher, and I'm so glad to incorporate, because they are freely giving their stuff away, and I financially support their ministry. So I'm putting their stuff on here. Just a little introduction, my introduction to Matthew. But the part that I'm really excited about is to get into the actual pages themselves. So you'll see, if we go to page 1, this is the actual page itself, where I try to break down each section and represent it visually, but also include the actual text from the NRSV version in here. And one of the things you want to note in the Gospel of Matthew, quotation from the Hebrew scripture, because that is a key element of the Gospel of Matthew, is that the author of Matthew is showing us that Jesus is actually fulfilling all of these Hebrew prophecies. And so he's quoting these prophecies to verify Jesus' validity as the Messiah. So you scroll down, and underneath each page there will be a way to go to the next page, go to the previous page, or go back to the home page of Matthew, which is the introduction. Now, if you scroll down, another thing that I'm doing is I'm creating PowerPoints so that you can download the PowerPoint and you can use them in your preaching, in your teaching, or just as a personal reference. And these are full PowerPoint that you can go in and then edit and add to and subtract from, whatever. And so if you want to get a little preview, each page will have a preview of the thumbnails of the slides that are included in that PowerPoint. And if you want to get the PowerPoint, you just click on this button that says Download PowerPoint, and it will open up a little, like a shopping cart. I'm using this website called Gumroad, and because of the size of this file, I wanted to give them away free, but because of the size of the file, Gumroad requires me to charge at least $1. But you can give whatever you want. It does take me a lot of time to do these. I'm doing it as part of my teaching ministry at Easter, so if you would like to contribute to the cause and help me cover the cost of my own personal website, basically this is a donation, and I appreciate it. So you can download this. You just put in, like, let's say you wanted to give me $10 for that, and then you click I want this, and you can go make your transaction. It's pretty sweet. And then if you keep scrolling down, well, I don't have it on that page, but let me go to page 2. You can see, if you keep scrolling down, I also have the expanded images and my own commentary, and you can see here I included a video from the Bible Project. You scroll down and I have written commentary and links to other videos that I've created in the past as I've gone through the Gospel of Matthew previous times. Here's some other sermons that I've given on Matthew. Anyway, I'm just trying to share every resource that I can with you because I just love doing it. So I hope that you will find this to be a helpful thing. I'll go back to the introduction so we can look at, again, this is a cartoonist guide to the Gospel of Matthew, and I'm sharing it with you. I hope that you will jump in, that you'll subscribe to my blog, you can get updates, that you'll explore this, and that you'll share it with your friends. All right, happy studying as we go through Matthew.